All right, everyone, welcome to another webinar. My name is Clark James. I'll be your host today. I work for QREWTools, um, and we also have AppSheetTraining.com. So glad that you guys could join us. Today's date is December 17th of 2020. Um, so unfortunately, Stefan couldn't make it today. He had a meeting that he could not miss, but do not fret. We will still carry on. Today's should be a pretty short and easy webinar. We only had one question submitted um, this week, and so I'll take a little bit of time to kind of go into how we do that. The question, let me pull it up so I can read it to you. Um, Basically, one of our users was having trouble with a debt tracker app that they were trying to build for themselves or for someone else. Um, and he was basically just trying to have debts listed and loans listed, etc., and then be able to make payments on those, and those automatically calculate in those tables. Um, so that is what we're going to be going over today. Like I said, it should be quick. If you do have any questions, comments, please feel free to write them up in the chat, or if you would like to um, join the call. If you are in the Zoom call, feel free to unmute at any time and ask any questions, and I'll do my best to be able to answer those. Unfortunately, my webcam is not working, so my apologies for that today. Um, but before we get started, I do want to talk to you guys. We did just release a brand new course called Advanced Templates, which honestly I think is not the best title for it. I think that Document Generation Path is a much better title for it, which is why I put that here. Pretty incredible, brand new. If I believe we have a sale for just this week. I'm honestly not sure of when that ends, but it is half price for this week. So if that's something that you're interested in, I definitely would recommend. I really like this GIF, which is why it isn't included here today. Also, I know we talked not last week, but the week before about our new expression library and our updated Chrome QREWTools Chrome extension. Wonderful tools. If you don't already have those, please sign up for an AppSheetTraining.com account. It is both those things are completely free, very very handy. Cannot tell you the amount of use that you will be able to get out of those things. If you do already have the QREWTools and you're not sure of how to get into it, you need to update that Chrome extension. I won't go into how to do that. It's pretty simple, but you need to update that Chrome extension. I believe it's just called version 2 in the extension library. All right. Well, today's demo, like I said, we're going to be going over a loan payment tracker. We're going to use some relational data tables, some cross-table calculation, as well as some virtual column calculations. Should be pretty simple. So we'll get into it. Let me pull this up. So I wanted to build this app from scratch for you guys. So to get the most out of it. You really shouldn't need a user table unless maybe you're consoling your debts with maybe your partner. Um, but I included a user table anyway, even though it's just going to be me in here because I am not married. Um, but you'll see we have some very simple columns for our debt and for our payments. As always, I like to have an ID column in both of my ordinary tables, and then my users table, we have our email as the key. Loan name, initial debt, loan through, so if it's credit card or if maybe it's a car payment, etc. And then this is just a small bit of metadata for you as well. And then these two are going to be your references to your other tables. So who is actually logging that payment, to what loan, when it happened, and the amount of the payment. So without further ado, I have not done anything else in here. I guess I probably could have already built this app, but it's fine. It doesn't matter what we pick here. We'll go with Google. And we have debt demo. So we'll have AppSheet set this up for us right quick. Hope everybody's doing well. Ethan, thank you so much for your comment. I appreciate it. And Ashwa, I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Thank you as well for your comment on YouTube. We appreciate that here at QREWTools. We try very hard. So I'm going to go ahead and start off with adding these two other tables. Pretty basic. We should all know how to do that. But if you do have any questions about anything, like I said, please feel free to reach out. I do have, good, I'm glad I pronounced it correctly. Like I said, please feel free to have those comments in. I should be checking that regularly. So the first thing I want to do is I want to dive into the column structure and make sure that we have the right types, as well as showing the right columns. User table doesn't matter as much. For the label, we'll have the loan name. We can hide the ID, which is unique, which is good. Excellent. And then for our payments, this loan ID is actually going to be a ref type to our debt. We'll make the, I might actually add a column here. No, we'll just make the payment date. This will be fine. This will do for now. For what we need it to do. Editable require, perfect. And we'll just save those changes. That should be all the things that we need as of yet. And so now I'm going to actually put in some data for this. So we'll just make a quick table view for our debt. And we'll make another one for our payments. And this will also be a table. And then we'll save this. Oh, that's pretty cool. AppSheet automatically generated a cashier cash register for our icon. That's pretty neat. If I didn't put an icon on this, Stefan would roll over. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And it has some suggested. Sure, we'll have a person. Even though I'm probably going to hide this in the menu anyway. All right, and we'll go ahead and save that again. So like I said, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to input some data directly into the app. So we have, let's do our car payment. We bought a car for $18,000. This was an optional column that I added that we may or may not use. And it's supposed to be a date, which I did not change in here. We'll input these fields again. Initial debt, we'll say 18,000, and we'll do, we'll make it a 4-year loan. So 2024, and then the timestamp we don't actually need to see, so we'll hide that. And then we'll put another one in here just for good measure. Loan name, we'll just say credit card. And we'll say that we owe 2,000 on our credit card. Hopefully you guys are paying off your credit cards every month because those can add up quickly. And we want to pay this by the end of the year, maybe. So we'll do 12/17. of 2020, and then that timestamp. And we'll save the changes that I made in here so that we could see those. So you'll see I have my initial debt here, and then my initial debt for the credit card as well. So now let's put in a payment. So this is still me. We'll pay for the car. So this month we paid. Let's see, trying to do quick math. 12, 18. We'll just make up a number. We paid $400 this month. Oh, I'm sorry, that's supposed to be. Man, nobody caught that. Nobody checked me. This is supposed to be a date. All right, loan car payment. This payment date is today, so we'll do 12/17/2020, and the payment amount we'll just do 400, like I said. So we'll have that in there, and then let's also put one for our credit card. This payment is also today. And for the credit card, we just paid maybe $80. Okay, so now you'll see, oh, that's why you need to save. Now I got to redo these. My apologies. 12/17/2020, and that was $400. And then we'll do again for the credit card of today, and we'll make this again $80. So now we have those fields in, we have some debt, we have some payments. You'll see those represented here in the Google Sheet. And you can see that the loan ID is here. And yeah, so now that we have this information in, the whole point of this app is to calculate how much debt we have left after paying for what we did. So this is going to be a virtual column in our debt table. So we'll have a virtual column, calculated debt. Okay. So what this is going to be is this is going to be a sum of all the payments that we've made for this loan. And we're going to subtract that value from the initial debt. So we'll have our trusty QREWTools extension here so that we can see our schema, because I do not always remember what I name my columns. And so we'll have our column here, initial debt. This is a text field, which needs to be a price. And I should save that before I try to do anything else. That way we can test it. Pull this back up, debt. And this is going to be minus the sum of our related payments. Very, very simple. But so for those of you who don't know or might need a refresher on how references work, we made a reference on our payments table for the loan ID to go back to this ID. And so whenever you make a payment, it automatically references that to a loan that we have in our debt table. And this column here is automatically generated based off of that reference. And it makes a list. You'll see it's a list type. So it's going to have a list of all the, oh, that's interesting. Requires a list of numeric inputs. That should be, let's see. If anybody remembers how to do this off the top of their head, that would be fantastic. I don't know why this is not. doing what it needs to do. This is definitely going to crush our app. I believe that I've saved all the changes. Does the amount field need to be referenced in the expression? Yeah, you're probably right. We probably do need to do a select expression. So this is probably one of these. We can use this. Thank you, Ethan. And so we'll go in here and we'll have payment amount. Yeah, there we go. I appreciate that, Ethan. Catching my simple, easy mistake. So you'll see this expression, very, very simple, which is amazing that I still had trouble with it. But the value of column initial debt minus the sum of the payment amounts of the related payments. So now when we save that, this will automatically calculate here. And I want to go into my debt and I want to change this column order. Very, very handy. Don't need those. So you'll see me. We don't need to see that because we know who it is. And then we'll have calculated debt field. And I want to move this up. So you can see how it worked. So we have 18,000 here. I'll make this a little bit bigger so we can see all the fields. We see 18,000 here. We just subtracted that 400. It's just subtracted. Sorry about that. My headphones turned off for no reason. So you'll see it subtracted that $400 from that 18 to give us our calculated debt. And I want to move this to the end because that doesn't matter. Now, there's a lot of different things you can do with this now. You could set up a payment plan to where every month, it calculates how much you should be. So right now, I just have a generic date that I just inputted. Also, this was not supposed to be today. It was supposed to be next year, but that's fine. So you'll see you're able to do this. So you could have fields where, let's say you're planning on paying $400 a month. You could have another field that calculated as a virtual column when that debt would be through based on the payments that you're making every month. And if, let's say, if one month you pay double just to decrease the amount of interest, what have you, that virtual column would automatically calculate and take, a month and a half off or whatever it is, however much you paid. So there's, like I said, there's a lot of things you can do with virtual columns. For those of you who don't know the difference, maybe I should have explained this earlier, but between static and virtual columns, static columns are really, really great because they will retain their values until they're edited, or if they're a formula, then they're edited on updates to the app. Whereas virtual columns are going to be calculated every single time that the app is synced. Now, the vast difference between these two is, let's say you have an app, let's say you have an app with two tables. Let's say in this app, the debt, we have a lot of debt. We have 50 rows of debt of different things. We were not careful whenever we were in college or just out of college. Or even in high school if you had a credit card then. And so we just have a lot of debt in here. And in our payments, we have, maybe 1,000 different payments that we've been paying over the last 10 years. What a virtual column will do will calculate this debt, right? But it has to, this expression is not that bad. But let's say if it was a select expression, which takes a lot more depth and strain, on our computers and our apps, it's going to take a lot longer for that expression to go through just even on that one column or on that one row. But if there were 1,000, it would have to calculate for each one of these rows for each one of these rows. So 50 times 1,000, you're looking at 50,000 different computations of that select expression. So, you know, virtual columns are very, very nice. They're very, very useful, but I recommend being very careful on how many you create and what kind of expressions you're using on different tables. So that is the basics. Like I said, pretty quick and easy tutorial on how virtual columns work and aggregating certain things. Um, didn't have a ton of stuff to go through. We just had that one question for today's webinar. But I still appreciate all of you guys being here. Now I would like to open up to you guys. If you guys had any questions or things that you wanted me to kind of talk about, now is that time, and I'll give you maybe a minute or two to allow for responses. Also, our dark UI did change. I'm not sure when they actually released this, um, but they did make an update to how uh, the darkness looks. They changed some slight coloring on the top and the bottom, and personally, I don't like it quite as much, but I understand why they would have done it. I know that they also fixed some issues with being able to see emails. So it used to be, oh, this is not the view that I want. I don't like card views that much unless it's very particular. So it used to be that there was a problem with the email. They used to be uh, whenever you would switch your app to dark mode, the email would still have the dark font. So it was impossible to see. Dark mode is basically unusable because of that. So I'm glad that they fixed that issue. I do have a question here from Ian McCall, and I also see yours, Ethan, um, and Dale. If you guys want to see, I can actually talk about QREWTools and talk about how to update it if you already have it. So if you'd like to stick around, Dale. So I kind of went into what QREWTools was last webinar 2 weeks ago. If you were here for that, great. If not, it is in that video from 2 weeks ago. So I'll go kind of brief on this. But essentially what QREWTools is it's an extension that allows you to automatically link to the documentation of AppSheet, to your personal snippets, to the schema of your app. It also shows you your views as well as the types of views that they are. And then here you'll see I am personally logged in under my appsheettraining.com account. Now, let's go to a formula. So I can have these here. Let's just do the link to app view. So you'll see I clicked on link to app here, and it automatically added this to the documentation tab of our QREWTools, and it shows us recommended research results for the documentation. So I can then click on link to app, and it'll pull up that page. So very, very quick and easy to get to see that documentation for the expressions that you're trying to use. I still use that to this day. Very, very handy. Now, the big game changer that, like I said, they updated recently is going to be our snippets. So snippets, so here I have this initial debt minus the sum of the related payment amounts. So I could snip this and it'll add it here to my QREWTools extension. So let's say I have a couple different apps that maybe are going to be using the same type of formula. I can then rename it to be related debt payments, right? And I can save that here. So you'll see it used to be that you could only have 5 snippets at a time. And man, those were rougher days. But now there's a huge infinite amount of expression that you can have in your snippet library. Now this is my personal snippet library. I don't have a ton of snippets because I usually like to create them on the spot. But if I go to appsheettraining.com and go to this expressions tab up here, this is our current expression library, which we only have 33. So if you have fun expressions that you enjoy or that you think could benefit the community, please feel free to add them here or add them to your snippet folder and then come back here and make them public. That's the only way that we're going to be able to see them in our public library is if you make those public. So for instance, let's find the expression that I just made. So I can click here on sum. And so this is the expression that I just created in my snippet library. So I can click here. You'll see this is private. So I can add this. So unfortunately, this button doesn't work yet, I believe. But you're going to want to make this public here. And then I have a title, related debt payments, documentation. This subtracts the debt amounts. Pretty simple documentation. You can definitely go into more detail if you'd like. But now whenever I save this, you'll see that it's now public. And so if I were to go to a different browser, or let's just log out. Let's just do this. So if I log out and go to expressions, you'll see that now there's 34 public snippets. I can then go to sum again, and you'll see this is created by me, but I'm not logged in, so I can see that this is a public snippet that someone else created. So very, very handy. I won't log in right now because I don't need to. But so you'll see here, I talked about this one last week. This is a very useful base 32 number generator. So it'll take 6 digits with a random character being from this list. Very, very handy. Very, very nice. Thank you, Taylor, for your addition to our library, as well as I know I showed this one last week. This was CJ, who also works here. He he created this snippet. Hopefully it's not actually real that they have created this, but you'll see that he selects from her Pinterest board. This is for his wife. Her Pinterest board, a trendy gift idea in different colors, and you'll see he actually goes into pretty detailed explanation of how this expression works. So quite a laugh, but great job, CJ, on getting that in. I believe he actually has a couple in here. I think that I can search by crew CJ. So you'll see we have a couple here, 3 public snippets. Actually, I don't know why this is not popping up. Let's go back here. So 19 of these snippets are from us currently, QREWTech. But you'll have this week's date range. Very, very nice. So if it's Wednesday, you'll still be able to see Sunday through Saturday. Pretty handy. Now, so that's kind of how the expressions work. Oh, I guess I do need to log in. Let's see if I remember what I am here. I believe it should be QREWTech.com and There's my password. So here's my personal information. Luckily, there's no address or phone number there, so you guys can't call me late at night. So let's say I really enjoy this expression from Multi-Tech Visions, common sense key values. I don't completely know what this is, so we're not going to use that. Let's see. Sunday of next week. Here we go. So if today's Wednesday, this will pull Sunday of next week, 4 days from now. But if it's Thursday, it'll still pull that Sunday 3 days from now. So date time of 12 a.m. on the upcoming Sunday. So I really like this expression, and I want to use it in my apps. So I can, there's supposed to be a, oh, here. Where is it? So this copy right here, that copy now will add this to my library. So now you'll see how quick that was. That was here. Now if I scroll down, or I might have to refresh on this side. So now if I scroll down on my snippets, oh, it also, I don't remember how it sorts. Oh, here it is. Perfect. So see, I already have this Sunday of next week copy that I took from CJ. So I can go in here into my debt and create a virtual column, and I can edit this and I can paste this in. And so you'll see here that it automatically just puts in that date time formula. Luckily, there's no columns in here, so this works regardless of the app that you're using. So I could save that Sunday of next week. Yes, Dale, it is a game changer. I'm telling you, you guys have got to get on this. If you guys don't already have QREWTools, you may notice that I have colors here. This is part of the extension. Let's go to, so you'll see that different types of expressions, columns are going to have different colors on them. This is just to make it easier. So you'll see text is always going to be green. All of your expressions are going to be orange. For this specific one, I can actually change this. Darkula is my personal favorite, but say I want to change it to solarized, and then I clicked here, you'll see that that font changes. So it's supposed to just be able to allow you to see your expressions better. And yeah, so you'll see we have a couple fonts that we like. Let's try material. This is the one that I believe Stefan uses. Could be wrong. I know that it is for our company account. Let's do this one, save. So this one will show your parentheses better. So you're able to see those more clearly, as well as your commas. I think this might be the one that Ben uses. So it just kind of depends on what you're looking for. But that is how QREWTools works. If, like I said, if you still need to update, I believe we can go in here and go to your extensions folder. Actually, you might have to do it from here. So these are all my extensions. Don't have too many for this account. But I can go to details on QREWTools. And so you'll see that my version is 2.1. I don't remember where it is, but somewhere on this page, oh, it's here, update. So extensions updated, boom. That's how easy it was. That'll take you from version 1 to version 2.1. And all it takes now is a refresh on your app, and this should be working. If not, if for some reason it's not working, you might need to close your browser and just reopen it. But after that, you will be prompted whenever you open this to sign into your account. That way you'll have access to that snippet library of expressions for you. So I hope that was helpful, Ian and Ethan. Oh, Ethan has a different question actually. Just in general, curious about initiating actions with a button on the top of a table view, even if the table isn't related. For instance, to create a new purchase order to then begin filling in values. If you're still here, Ethan, are you asking about going into a form view? Yes, you are asking about going into a form view. So there's a couple different ways that you could do that. For, let's say, I wanted a button up here. Let's see what he's. Oh, perfect. Ian, I'm glad you got to install it. I hope that it is very, very helpful for you. Ethan, did you want to provide more context for that question? Initiate an action such as creating a purchase order with some line items for a vendor. Um, so perhaps staying in a table view to rapidly input quantity values. Oh, okay. Um, so I don't think that there's a way. So for instance, on this app, um, there's not like a quick add button that would just add a new row here. Is that kind of what you're asking? I believe that you have to go. The only way to add a new record is to go in through the form view, um, or there is another way that you could technically do it by using a deep link. Um, so this would be a link to form, but it would be uh, and so how it would work would be link to form. Sorry, my headphones keep dying, even though they have full battery. Um, so this link to form, it would take you to some view form. Um, so for our debt, this one is called just debt form. Um, so we would have debt form in quotations here, and then after that, it would have in order the columns that you wanted auto-filled, um, because so you could autofill the date as today, the color as this row color. Um, so if I wanted a new debt to be exactly like this car payment, except I wanted the debt to be, 45,000 because I bought a brand new Tesla, then I would uh, the user would be the same. The loan name might be the same unless you wanted to change it to maybe Tesla payment, but your debt would change from 18,000 to 45,000, and it would create a new unique ID so that the calculated debt would not interfere with um, your other car payment. Is that more of what you're asking, Ethan? All right, perfect. I'm glad I could answer that question for you. Um, Other than that, I believe that's all I have. So if you do have any questions, I'd love to answer those for you. And if not, uh, you know, I'll tell you what, let's go over this here, this slide here that I have. Um, I would really, really appreciate it if you guys would send me questions about things that you're uh, looking to do in AppSheet, or really anything. If you want to know about some MySQL database stuff, we are experienced in that as well. Um, we have also been experimenting with some Google Cloud scriptings. Stefan more than me, but we are experimenting with those, and we would love to be able to answer any questions you have, or if you just want to know how I'm doing, feel free to send out an email. It'll definitely put a smile on my face. Uh, so, but the whole purpose of this is to just get questions and topics for upcoming webinars. Unfortunately, me and Stefan are running out of things. We aren't sure what you guys will be, what things will be helpful for you guys. So we'd love to make it more applicable to you guys in real time. So that's all I have. Like I said earlier, this is $39 right now for the advanced templates, which is document generation path. It's brand new. I believe there's one more path that been created. Um, so we'll see. We have advanced templates. Um, Oh, and our advanced UX is also $39. So it's more than half price. That is a 60% off for both of those. So if you are interested in those, now is the time to buy. It if my guess is that it'll probably stop the discount after Christmas, but you never know. Stefan might have other ideas, so don't quote me on that. But I hope you guys enjoyed the webinar. Um, like I said, please feel free to reach out with any questions. Here's my email again, clark@QREWTech.com. I'd love to answer those for you. Um, all right. Well, that'll do it for today. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your week and a very happy holidays. We all of us at QREWTech really appreciate what you guys are doing for us. Um, if you could uh, hit that like button on this webinar, as well as share this with your friends, subscribe to it, that would really, really help us. We're trying to keep these free for you guys because we want to be able to help y'all, but that's the only way that we're going to be able to keep doing this. So, all right. Is auto sending SMS in AppSheet possible? Cybertronics Center, yes, it is. You do have to have I believe it's the pro version of AppSheet, which is like $10 a user. But this is just going to be a workflow. So you'll see this do action. You just have SMS here. For if you don't know about workflows, actions are like these buttons here. So this button is technically an action that AppSheet created for us. So you'll see these add, delete, edit, view, reference. These are actions that the system generated for us. So actions are buttons. Reports go off of time. So you could make a report that sends out on the first of every month at 12:01 a.m. Workflows actually run when the app is synced. So you'll see updates and syncs here. And so, but you could also technically put it on a button, but you said automated, correct? Yeah, automated SMS. And so this is going to be, you'll have a condition for when this would happen. And then this action would be an SMS, and you could specify who this text message is supposed to go to. So I thought about putting Stefan's phone number in, but probably shouldn't do that. It's a good way to get fired. But I hope that mean through local carrier. I'm sorry, I don't understand what you're asking there. I know that there is a delay. Um, Honestly, I don't know how that would work in the Philippines. I would have to research that. Stefan honestly might know. He has more experience with workflows than I do. Um, so if you want to send me an email at that Clark@QREWTech.com, I can try to get some more information for you and reach back out. All right, perfect. We actually have someone waiting in our waiting room in the Zoom call. I'm gonna add him just to make sure we don't have any questions. Hi, Riaz. Did you have a question? Our webinar is actually just ending. We started at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time about 46 minutes ago. Um, all right. Well, if he does have a question, we will answer that. Oh, he left. All right. Well, I guess that's it, guys. Thank you guys so much again for joining us. And we will see you again after the holidays are all completed. So it should be, I believe, the 7th is at the earliest. That's going to be our next earliest webinar. So unfortunately, about 3 weeks from now. Um, if that changes, I'll let you guys know in those emails. If you aren't already subscribed to the emails, if you go to appsheettraining.com, it should be the first thing that pops up as a pop-up. Um, we don't sell your information or anything. We just want to let you guys know when we have new stuff for you. So anyway, you guys have a great rest of your day. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you guys next time.